Welcome to Network Africa. Coming up on the program, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is in Nigeria. We have the latest from our State House correspondent. Then we'll take a look at how Rio 2016 fared as our sports correspondent Yemi Adebayo joins us in the studio. And later, the world celebrates World Internet Day. Thanks for joining us on the program. I am VC Adebayo. Just like we told you last week, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is in Nigeria. He has met with religious leaders in the remote northwestern city of Sokoto. Mr. Kerry lauded efforts in building a prosperous and peaceful society during his meeting with the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar III, one of Nigeria's most influential Islamic leaders. He has also given a speech on how to tackle Boko Haram fighters before traveling to Abuja to meet President Muhammadu Buhari.
Your country has taken back most of the territory that the terrorists had once captured. And Cameroon, Niger, and Chad, and Benin have made important contributions and enormous sacrifices in areas along Nigeria's borders. But we also know that beating Boko Haram on the battlefield is only the beginning of what we need to do. One of our tasks, one of our central tasks, and almost every single religious leader I just heard in the other room talked about this task, has to be to remove the vulnerabilities in our own position. To effectively counter violent extremism, we have to ensure that military action is coupled with a reinforced commitment to the values this region and all of Nigeria has a long legacy of supporting. Values like integrity, good governance, education, compassion, security, and respect for human rights. Building public trust in government also requires cooperation from law enforcement and the military.
Now, Mr. John Kerry is right now in Abuja and he has met with President Muhammadu Buhari. But in the meantime, our State House correspondent Chukwuma Onokwusi joins us on the program to talk more about Mr. Kerry's visit. Chukwuma, now what's in it for Nigeria in this visit?
Well, thank you very much. If you understand where the Senator John Kerry is coming from, you will know that he's been a Nigerian president. You remember the role he played during the elections, and he was also here during the inauguration of President Buhari as the civilian president of Nigeria, taking over from Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. And so each time the president also visits the United States of America, he gets in touch with the U.S. Secretary of State, John Kerry. And so there is this camaraderie that is between Nigeria and U.S. through the U.S. Secretary of State. The meeting right now is ongoing, and it is important that he meets with the president anytime he gets into Nigeria. So this meeting is very important, as we understand they will be taking a look at bilateral issues. Yes.
All right, thank you, Chukwuma Onokwusi. We'll follow up with the story and bring you updates. But just before his trip to Nigeria, Mr. John Kerry was in Kenya yesterday, where he met with President Uhuru Kenyatta. While he was there, he met with regional representatives, and here's what he had to say about the outcome of the visit.
In our discussions, we focused on three goals. The first is to maintain firm support for the Somali people and the government as they strive to protect their citizens, strengthen their institutions, and participate in a landmark electoral process. The second goal is to ensure that AMISOM, which is the UN mission in Somalia, has the resources that it needs in order to conduct, in partnership with Somalia, a sustained and relentless drive against al-Shabaab. Also stepping up our efforts to address humanitarian needs. This afternoon, I am pleased to announce that the United States will be providing an additional $117 million more in support for refugees, returnees, and drought victims in the region, raising our total assistance just for this year to $265 million, and we will also contribute an additional $29 million to the UNHCR's new supplementary appeal.
Well, the lead consultant for Sovereign Insights, Mr. Vincent Kimosop, joins us on Network Africa to take a closer look at Mr. Kerry's visit to Kenya. Now, can you tell us more about how significant this visit was for Kenyans? Mr. Kimosop, can you tell us how significant Mr. Kerry's visit is to Kenyans?
Very significant.
We have technical hitches with Mr. Kimosop, but we'll bring him back. But in the meantime, South Africa's economic hub, Johannesburg, has a new mayor. Businessman Herman Mashaba rode on the Democratic Alliance platform, backed by the party's coalition partners, to win the election last night. In what turned out to be an eventful 12 hours, power slipped away from the African National Congress for the first time in 2 decades. We'll get back to that story. We understand that Mr. Kimosop is back on the line. So, Mr. Vincent, we're asking what is in it for Kenyans at this time of Mr. Kerry's visit. It was in Kenya yesterday. So what is the significance of this visit? All right, moving on now. A project that seeks to help youth develop their skills and readiness for employment and entrepreneurship has seen many people in the DR Congo's southern Katanga province find new ways to earn an income. Majority of Congo's population is made up of people who are under the age of 25 years, most of who live on less than $2 a day. In the Democratic Republic of Congo's southern mining capital, Lubumbashi workers closely monitor chicken being raised at a poultry farm. The farm is working to boost production and increase supply to clients in parts of the city. After receiving a loan from PAGIC, a project meant to boost youth employment in the country, Frank Kelmbom, who holds a diploma in food production, was able to kickstart his chicken business. The project is one of many small businesses in Katanga province that are supported by the Belgian government and the International Labour Organization. The farm currently supplies residents with chicken and wants to meet growing demand for its products as well as create more job opportunities.
We
want to become a national leader in poultry production because today we are rearing about 100 chickens, but our target is to produce thousands. We also want to incorporate other poultry farmers since we are a cooperative.
Africa's largest copper producer is heavily dependent on the mining sector, which together with its smaller oil industry accounts for 98% of all earnings, but majority of its people live in poverty. Majority of Congo's population is made up of people who are under the age of 25 years, according to the ILO. Still ahead on Network Africa, a look at how Rio 2016 fared as our sports correspondent Yemi Adebayo joins us in the studio. Please stay tuned. Kerry.